I know the frustration and disappointment, and people are mad they spent the money and go out there and see these performances by the Mets getting their clocks cleaned in the last 2 games here at home and are down 3-1. But if anything, this team has earned the belief. I'm not saying you got to be illogical and irrational and just say, oh, the Mets are going to come back and win the World Series. But they could until it's over. Let's not write the Mets' funeral here. Let's not say that their season is done until it's done. It was ugly last night. We'll get into some of the details of that. But I don't think today is the day to be burying the Mets when they're not dead yet.
So basically, you want everybody to stop walking around work like a loser. I get behind that a little bit. I can feel you on that.
Here's the one difference.
Yeah.
This team has earned that.
Yeah.
Think about it. We're in the NLC. I get why you did it last year with the Jets. This team has earned, every time they were done. Not almost done like it was going into last night's game. Done. Meaning in Milwaukee, down to 2 outs in the 9th inning. Nobody thought Pete Alonso, even to get to that point, it was crazy. Mm-hmm. But then Alonso hits that home run. They were dead, and they came back. And now it feels like they're dead. This is not the time if you're a Met fan to be giving up. Go out there today if you have the ticket. The idea people would be like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go to the game. It's Game 5 today. Get pumped up for
100% you got to get pumped up. Now, listen, I said what I said yesterday, and I was messing around with the air, leaving the balloon, the sound, and I stand by that. I obviously don't think the Mets will win the series, especially now the way, last night, 10-2, 9-zip, 8-zip. But forget about all that stuff to your point for a minute. See, the problem is that the Dodgers are a machine.
Yeah.
They're a machine. And to beat a machine, the machine's either got to malfunction, and right now they're showing no signs of malfunctioning, or you've got to colossally overachieve, which the Mets are showing no signs of doing yet. Maybe that starts tonight.
Right,
Maybe it starts tonight.
Let me make a case to why it might.
I'm all ears. Let's go.
Here's the close to blind faith part, although there is some maybe merit to it. Pete Alonso in the past has been a productive player. You could reference the postseason at certain times. You could reference his career. He's done nothing. I don't want to see Pete walk. He's supposed to be hitting home runs. So
yep.
It is possible. Nimmo, who I thought had an awful at-bat last night with the bases loaded, he's check swinging and just uncharacteristic. I know he can't run and all that. He beat out the ground ball, whatever. But Nimmo at least started to show some signs after that at-bat with nobody on, getting some hits. So there's maybe some hope there. Lindor's been a beast. Vientos a beast. Those guys have to get it going, and maybe they could. Here's the better part of the reason why I think they have a chance. Because now, and maybe this is a fault of the Mets for making stupid decisions throughout the short series so far, now they're lined up to throw their best at the Dodgers pitching-wise. Where today it should be Peterson. I don't know about Senga out of the pen, but it should be Peterson to Stanek to Diaz.
True.
That's it.
Okay.
Stanek and Diaz. They haven't used Stanek and Diaz here.
I hear you.
And maybe that's their own fault. Like you said yesterday, hey, how come they aren't trying to use these guys and keep the games closer?
When it was 2-zip. Yeah, we talked about that. Sure.
And maybe in Game 3, that was a mistake that they made. Mm-hmm. But now this is it. All hands on deck, and now they're lined up. And then you have Manaea behind this Game 5 if there is a Game 6 on Sunday night. So there is at least some reason for at least to believe a little bit mild optimism.
Well, I would say that there's a little bit more than mild optimism. You got to understand, the way I'm looking at this now, it's more emotionless than the Met fan, because I'm not a Mets fan.
Right.
So I watched this, and yeah, for me, and I think even for Met fans who are objective, it's easy to see, which team is more potent, which team is better. It's the Dodgers. But to Sal's point about putting away the shovels and not burying this team until they truly are dead, one of the problems when problems might not be the right word, but I'll go with it here. One of the problems when you overachieve is that you begin to dream so big because it's so improbable,
right,
that if it does get derailed, the hurt's deeper because you put yourself in a vulnerable space as a fan. Mets are 0-5, Mets are 11 games under 500. If you gave the Met fan a contract at that point in the season, hey, listen, you're going to get to the NLCS against the Dodgers. Dodgers going to roast you. Dodgers going to smoke you. But you're going to get to the NLCS, and you're going to get some playoff games here. You go get some big moments, Lindor, Alonso in Milwaukee. Every Mets fan signing up for it. Problem is, but signing up with the knowledge that the Dodgers will steamroll you.
Right.
The problem is that once you get there, even though pragmatically, when you sign that contract, just intellectually, you'd say, hell yeah, we're 11 under. It's supposed to be a rebuild and a Rossman assessment year, and you'd be fine with that. But as the days tick away and the weeks tick away and the months tick away and the stories start to grow and the music and the OMG, and I'm not saying that's why they're winning at all, and the Grimace stuff and the other stuff and the energy and the My Girl and everything that's happening, you go to a place, understandably, I'd be right there with you if I'm a Met fan. You go there and you are basically taking your sporting heart and putting it on a table and running the risk of it getting squashed and squished and broken into a million pieces. And that's the bad part. The good part is you're not dead yet.
Right. Well, and do you believe that the Mets fan believed that this team could beat the Dodgers this series going in?
Going in, yes.
Correct, which is why it's frustrating and why it hurts. But forget that for a second. What's done is done. You have a game.
Wash your hands, Sal.
Yeah, well, you have a game.
Let's go.
No, don't let. We're sports fans. We're supposed to be illogical. Don't let logic and the fact that the Dodgers are really good and all those things, like the time to say, hey, you know what? The Mets had a good season even with the loss. That's
not yet.
It's not today.
Not yet.
And because this team earned it, they were so good and so resilient, they made us believe that anything was that anything was possible. Truly believe. So they have earned that. If you're going to that game today, show them that support. If you're watching, now I got to be honest with you. Last night, I was so frustrated and so disappointed, I had to shut it off. Legit.
At what point?
7-0.
Gotcha.
Shut it off. Or 7-2, I should say. I'm trying to remember the exact moment. Maybe
so
it was
10-2
Marte.
final. It would have been 7-2, right?
Marte flied out to right in, let's say, the 7th or 8th, whatever. I was like, I can't take it anymore. Legitimately, shut it off and put on The Sopranos. Like, I couldn't take it anymore.
Was it a good episode that you watched?
Yeah, I'm in season 5 right now.
Oh, you're up to 5? Okay, go ahead.
Episode 2, I think, season 5. Yeah, Carmelo's sleeping with the teacher.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, so I couldn't take it anymore. So I understand the pain and frustration. That one hurts. But now's not the time to bury this team because they've earned it. And there is reason to believe that maybe they can get back into this series. And the Dodgers are a machine. Yes, they're not unbeatable.
Nope.
Mets beat them in game 2. Anything could happen out there. I don't think the series is as bad as it seems with the scores. The scores have been ugly.
I got to push back on that. 25-2, the games they lost.
But I think there's circumstance behind that. Like, Game 3 to me was a lot closer. Last night was bad.
Game 3 was closer.
Game 3 was closer than it felt. But it ended 8-0, so that's ugly.
Either way. Deficit is what it is.
Now, again, the Mets put themselves in the spot by bad decisions in Game 1. If they didn't start Senga in Game 1, and I don't want to hear their excuses. I think the excuses are pathetic. We got to that.
He's not pitching today, so thank God.
Right, but the point is it's still a Senga/Peterson.
I know. Well, maybe.
Well, it should be Minaya today. It should be their best. Minaya should have pitched Game 1, and then he'd be lined up to pitch today. Think about it. The Mets could go home today without having Minaya being used at all but once in this series. That's you can't have that happen.
That's a little tricky. That would be tough to digest. I got you on that.
They've made some bad mistakes that put themselves in a bad predicament. However, it's not over yet. And if they could get one game at home, now all of a sudden you start to believe even more. With Minaya in Game 6 and in Game 7, I'm not trying to be irrational and blind and foolish.
I don't think you sound irrational.
We all buried this team. We left them for dead and buried. 0-5, 11 games under. They're not. This team, the one thing they've been is resilient when it's been looking like it was over. Now it looks and feels like it's over. It's not. Don't bury them yet.
Listen, I think they're the most resilient New York team I've ever seen. Honestly, when you look at the roster and you truly measure the talent, and then you try to parallel that to the achievement, it doesn't match. It shouldn't match. It's improbable. It's highly improbable. It's nuts what the Mets have done. So you're right. Now, this is coming from the guy with the helium leaving the balloon. Forget about that stuff. What you do today is you walk into that stadium and you go absolutely bonkers, all right? First hit, first walk, first time the Dodger flies out the center in the first hit, whatever it is, whatever the little thing that's going to help you regenerate. And at the end of today, if it's not what you want, and in my opinion, unfortunately, it probably won't be. But when you get there, not now, when you get there, you stand up and you applaud and you respect and you acknowledge, you genuflect the season and that team, that what they just gave you. Not over yet.
Yeah, that's
not
the point.
over yet, dude.
That's the point.
I thought the Yanks were going to sweep the Red Sox years ago. Worst collapse in the history of baseball. Up 3-zip.
Correct.
I get it.
It's
not
sports.
over yet.
There's plenty of time to talk about the offseason when it's the offseason. It's a game day. Game 5 of the NLCS that nobody thought was even possible this year. Try to at least take that in. If you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Adam is in Staten Island. What's up, Adam?
Hey, what's up, guys? BT, you just said what I was going to say. We've seen every permutation of a comeback, including the 3-0 Boston series against the Yankees. So to say they're out of it, especially if you're a Mets fan, listen, if the Mets would have won 2 games out of 3 at home, we certainly wouldn't be saying the Dodgers are out of it, having to win 2 in a row in L.A. So you know what? Let's get this win today, and then it's 2 in a row in L.A. We could do it. Why not? And if you and listen, if we don't do it, then you applaud the team. Right now, as a fan, of course you want to win, so you can't see past the fact that we should be able to win.
Yeah.
But you know what? They've overachieved completely. So if they get knocked out, then you could acknowledge that. But until then, I don't see why we can't come back and win this series.
I think that's the point, Adam, and thank you for the call. And by the way, it's not even about, we can come back and win. It's just about you're in it. You're in the series now. The wrong attitude is to be defeated to a point where I don't even want to go today. I don't want to go. I heard somebody call Boomer.
I heard some of that too. To me, that's pathetic.
It's game 5.
That's sad.
What? You'd be lucky.
It's sunny out.
Yeah.
It's October baseball. It's your team. Stop.
Game 5 of the NLCS when nobody thought. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go home today and I'm going to enjoy watching a National League Championship Series with the team that I grew up rooting for in it. And then I'm going to follow that down by watching the Yankees in the American League Championship. We'll get to the Yankees coming up.
Well, I got to correct you for a second. You're going to watch the Mets, by the way, in the new hoodie that Mommy sent to you. Very nice. Mama Lacana.
My Lindor Mets hoodie. Yeah.
That's a sweet. I can tell it was brand new. It's actually a good look. So Sal's going to sit down and root on his Mets and watch the Mets and hope they do damage. And he said he's going to sit down and watch the Yankees. You missed a word. He's going to sit down and watch the Yankees and hope that they lose. And we'll get to that later.
We will get to that coming up in just a minute.
I know what you're thinking, dude.
Hillary's I'll explain why in a second. Hillary's calling from Queens. What's up, Hillary?
How you doing, guys? It's so nice to meet you. I love your show. I am the 11 and under Met fan.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm in it, to the end. I love these guys. I almost cry when they're not doing well.
I don't know what that...
I'm an 11 and under fan. I'm a fan from 11 and under. When I was getting texts from people telling me they suck, and I'm like, I love them.
She never abandoned them. When they were 11 games under 500.
Oh, I got you.
That's right. I'm the 11 and under fan, yeah. So, I'm here for it. I want them to win. Whatever happens. They did have a great year, and they're going to be talked about forever, and I'm here for it. Let's go Mets. I really want them to do something tonight, but if they don't, I'm going to love them tomorrow. And I'm ready for spring.
Well, I can't promise that, Hillary.
Spring,
thank you for the
Thanksgiving,
call.
spring.
If they don't, you're going to love them tomorrow. I can't promise that.
Yeah, that's different. That's
when the season is over, it'll be a different story.
Yeah.
I don't think today is the day to have that defeatist attitude. It is so rare, BT, in sports. I don't care what team it is, Yankees, Giants, whatever, who have been the most successful teams in this town. It is so rare. We had this with the Knicks in the postseason. It's so rare that you get here, especially for the Mets. Mm-hmm. Think about it. You're in and especially this year coming out of nowhere, you're in the National League Championship Series. Enjoy it while you can, because it might be over tonight. It might be. We don't know, but it might be. Enjoy it while you can. Don't go in with a defeatist attitude.
You asked me before, did I think Met fans thought that they would win the series, had a really good chance to win the series going in? My answer was yes, right? I do think that going into last night, the Met fans still had a pretty strong conviction that they can win the series. As much as, you more than me, because you're a Mets fan, but me certainly understanding you're not dead till you're dead.
Right.
So I'm with you. I do feel like, it doesn't mean you shouldn't go. I do feel like the Met fan at this point doesn't really think they could beat this team.
100%. But I also think the Met fan didn't really think that this team before the year would be a legitimate playoff team. Didn't really think this team would beat the Brewers after Sal Frelick hit that home run. Mm-hmm. they didn't really think they were going to come back and beat the Phillies after Zach Wheeler was mowing them down. And I don't know how about they felt about the series there. Now, there were reasons to believe along the way after Lindor's home run, after Alonso hits that home run, the confidence started to go up and up and up. And then there was maybe an expectation or true belief. And you're right. So much so going into this series, the expectation was, I know the Dodgers are great, but who cares? The Mets have knocked down every dragon in their way. So why not now? And I agree with you that the feeling now is you want to believe, but deep down it's like, yeah, they can't do it again. We can't expect it. But that's when this team has been at their best. Just when you felt that it was really, truly coming to an end, that's when they've responded. Don't give up hope yet. There'll be plenty of time to talk about their demise and their funeral and their
and the off-season plans
and why it went wrong.
Sure.
Today's not
today.
that day.
I'm happy you brought up Frelick's name because it's so. It's not that long ago, but it seems like it is. Think about the moments that they've given you since the Frelick home run. Think about how many nights you've, or how many days you've spent at work saying, all right, 5 hours before I get home and I get to watch my Mets, 3 hours before I get home and I get to watch my Mets.
Yeah.
Think about the moments they've already provided you. No, and by the way, at the end of the day, I know it might feel that today on the stage, couple of calls here, and I know Gio's been a little, although he's up today. I do think that by first pitch, maybe like me with the Jets and the Steelers on Sunday night, there will be a regeneration, and I believe the Met fan will be ready to fight tonight. I do. They will be there, and they will not be solemn, and they will not be, they will be foaming at the mouth to get that second win.